These words by the late Utata Nelson Mandela, Habitat for Humanity South Africa, in partnership with the Nelson Mandela Foundation, the SABC Foundation, and many other corporates came together to build 67 homes for 67 families. Welcome to Orange Farm, a township located approximately 45 kilometers from Johannesburg. It is one of the youngest townships in South Africa. The first inhabitants of Orange Farm arrived in 1988, which most were tenants from the great township of Soweto. In 2017, the International Build Week was in Orange Farm from the 17th till the 21st of July, and the goal was to build 67 houses in 5 days in honor of Mandela. Meet Noma's sister, who relocated to Orange Farm in pursuit of better living conditions. She is one of the 67 beneficiaries, and her house will be built by the SABC. Here's her story.
La Orange Farm dalethwa kungabi nandawo yokuhlala. Kwabe kukhona lo yomkhukhwanyana, kwakhona omnye ubaba wathi hayi mandize nizohlala khona lo mkhukhu ngoba ndisafara ngendawo yokuhlala. Aqale manje nisoluka abantwana ndane ndiqhina abantwana nyana abancinci bayeke abazali bandilethele umntwana ndiqhine ndithole lo 20 rand ndiphila ngalo ma 20 rand andiwatholayo for ukwenza inwele. iRDP bengiyibonela nje kwizindawo njengalapha e9 nami ngibe nalo nhliziyo ebhlungu yokuthi nami shem ngenye imini koze kwenze kodwa beningena yazi beningazi ukuthi koze kufike nakumi. Bengenathemba ngoba bengithi mangizibona ngibona ukuthi hayi angeke zendibe nayo ngana qualify mina bengizinyanza mangisho njalo.
She took a step further and made efforts that tested her patience.
Kuye kwathi njengoba sihleli silana singabahlali lana kwacaca ukuthi kuzongena izindlo zama-RDP nami ndabhalisa. Usiso onanikhuluma naye lapha yawangiqalela ukuthi ayikho esystemini alikho igama lami. Wanibonisa naphinde ndabhalisa ngakutsha yabeke ngoku seyaphuma ke ngoku beza laba bantu bazoniqala ukuthi indlu yakho iapprove.
The SABC Foundation CEO told us of their involvement with this project.
We're involved with Habitat for Humanity around 67 minutes, which is Mandela Month, because it was such a natural fit for us. I think everyone, having a home or having a warm place to stay or making sure that your family can be safe in a home is one of the best things we can give anybody else. And I think that Tata would be proud of us. So being able to work with Habitat for Humanity this July means a lot for us.
Andlali nje ebusuku manje papa mingathi ngizofumana isilephe sami sesingasekho manje papa ebusuku ndibe nalonto yokuthi uthi labantu ngempela basezawuza yazi nje andibelieve ngendlela enijabule ngayo andibelieve yazi nje ngizitshela ukuthi ngiyobelieve the day sekendathu kulala khona ilanga lami into benibelieve ngalo leli ba kahle ngempela ngize ngayithola na.
Noma couldn't hide her excitement the day she saw the beginning building stages of her house.
The day beqala befika bezoniqalela ukuthi indlu yakho izawufika lani approve iphumelele azange zendlale lelo langa lelo ngajabula kwasa ngacela ilist le ngathi ngicela ukubona igama lami ukuthi kahle yiyo okwamampela na wanibonisa lo yababa ukuthi nali igama lakho nesibongo sakho hayi ngajabula yazi ngangazi nothi ndenzeni nokuthi ngathi ngathwala idlanze ekhanda nikhale bafika ngelanga elandelayo behamba negandaganda bafika bayenza la bavundula elanga elandelayo bafika ke bagalela inhlabathi. Zonke lezo nsuku yizo ke insuku lezo bengibona kahle ukuthi hayi ngempela uThixo uyafika kumizi yonke.
from the moment you start your day. Good morning, everybody. It is 6 o'clock.
We are there for you.
You want a guarantee from the leadership that we should not be leaders who will steal? I'm prepared to give that guarantee that we should not steal from our people.
We bring your morning into perspective.
This is the reason they keep putting fees up. They're not getting enough money.
We'll make sure that you get the full story.
The police officers from specifically Moffat View Police Station, they support these brothels. What have you found upon your investigations on this matter?
I cannot deny those allegations.
And you can count on the weather team with expertise.
Join us live at 6 a.m. daily.
Corporates from all over the country came in numbers to partner with Habitats for Humanity in building 67 homes, and for obvious reasons, at the beginning of each day a safety briefing was done.
We do good stuff all year round, but particularly around July, around Madiba's birthday, then everybody pulls together very strongly in memory of him, of what a great man he was. So all the departments are involved this year. So it's us as the foundation, it's the SABC television channels, SABC 1, SABC 2, it's SABC Sport. Everybody comes on board and says, how do we get involved? How do we support?
With just 5 days and 67 houses to build, it was time to go work and get dirty. And the SABC team was in gear and ready to tackle the day.
Ndosiza nje niqokelele lokho kuthiwa mandiqokelele ndidophe maybe stena ndibeke.
Professionals in the building field were necessary in each team as volunteers needed guidance through the entire process. And the work began. The SABC team worked as a unit. Everyone became the same, men and women, short and tall. Everyone had the same goal in mind, to honor Mandela by building and changing a family's life. If you can't beat them, join them. The house beneficiary and her daughter also did their part in helping the SABC team.
Hey, angazi inene maybe ndawuvuka esibhedlela ngokuquleka nokujabula. Angithi kuthiwa ukujabula nako ungafeinta, ungajabula kakhulu kuze kweqe ufeinti. Ngempela uMandela ngabe liqhawe. Uliqhawe noba sekalele. Izinto zakhe ziloko ziyenzeka eloko engasekho emhlabeni. Ayimange into yakhe iyaqhubeka.
As the day continued, more SABC faces showed up and worked.
Yo, this is Bophelong Masego and I act as Nimza on Skim Sam.
Hi, my name is Nozilanga and I played Linda on Skim Sam.
Wagwan, I'm DJ Duap and I hold down one mic on SABC 1.
Give to the gifted Mokampanyane, Fanny on Skim Sam.
Pearl Nokolo Munama, I play SABC Hlekele on Generations The Legacy.
More hands meant quicker progress. This day commemorates the lifetime of service Nelson Mandela gave to South Africa and the world. It was launched on his birthday, the 18th of July. Each year on this day, we celebrate Madiba's life and legacy in a sustainable way that will bring enduring change. Proceedings of building day 2 were a little different. The Gauteng Premier David Makura and the Gauteng Human Settlements MEC Paul Mashatile joined the SABC team in building Noma's house.
As the world reflects Madiba's legacy through different acts of kindness, we here on the show are changing the lives of 67 families by building 67 homes for each and every one of them. SABC Foundation and Habitat for Humanity are out here in Orange Farm to build homes, and we're honored to be part of them. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this life-altering transformation.
The face of Bophelong and our very own presenter also got to work in heels. When it's Mandela Day, we all get dirty, celebrities and all.
I'm Quinn Brown, and I play Connie on Seven the Laan.
Give volunteering. It's Mandela Day. And this is actually what it means. It means that we just take a little bit of our time, from the goodness of our hearts, and come and assist those who can't do for themselves.
There's no time for lounging, there's no time for relaxing. We do that all the other days of the year. This is the one day that we can all give, all come together, join hands, just so to support his legacy about joining hands and working together towards, a bigger, better South Africa.
Norma also explained what Mandela Day means to her.
Lento iminisha injabulo kum. Iminisha nakuthi nakwabanye nabasezayo nabangasemuva kum. Mabajabule ngelanga likaMandela ngoba mhlawumpeni kukhona okunye abazakuzuza.
Though SABC had only 3 houses to build, the team continued to help build over and above the houses assigned just for them. On the 3rd day, the video editing department picked up some tools and got some work done.
We are here to mark the 67 minutes for Mandela Day as the SABC, but representing mostly the guys that we've seen today, video editors.
When you arrive on site, you're left with no choice but to join in and help build a home.
What is strange, when I came here, I told myself I'm just going to hold a spirit level, and that was it. And I said, okay guys, let's go. Because I really didn't think that you need to put that much into it. But when we got here, this house here was like right down there. And within a few hours, which is, I think we got here around 10 on site. By 2 o'clock, you can see how big the house is. It's fulfilling that I'm part. I've made this family happy because I've put something into their home. It's not a house, it's a home. It's where their dreams are going to be. It's where their kids are going to be. They're going to have privacy. They're going to have a bedroom. Things that most people take for granted, things that our kids take for granted.
Habitat for Humanity had planned to build 67 homes for 67 families, but by day 3, that had changed. One of the beneficiaries brought it to the organization's attention that she resides next to siblings who are orphans and live in something you cannot even call a shelter. Here's their story.
Ngihlala opposite nabo. So kunamuntu la ekhaya umama wahamba. So abantwana bayasokola, uyabona, sibhekile thina sibomakhelwane lana akhosiza balitholayo. Bashelwa, bahambela umama bashelwa. Kwasala nje kunjalo, so sazama ukuthi sizama ngamasenke abafakela ishelter, kwaba neshelter nyana. From there akukho kunye bekukhona, azama safaka umbhede nyana omncane, izingubo nyana ezincane because akuna lutho abanalo.
Being orphans with tangible documents that burned down with their shack, the boys were clueless as to how to even go about registering to qualify for a house.
Sizwe ukuthi habitat yezala. Nami kimi ngilitholile lo lithuba ukuthi beze kimi bangakhela. Okay, nase bathi bazongakhela, ngiyacabanga ngithi no nginabantwana mina abawes ukuhlula mina. Mina at least lapha engihlala khona nginayiheat, ngiyahot. Abawothi ndawo iwinter. Kumnyama. Is good nokuthi mene bame lapha bawothe bamele kupho ku Apollo light ukuthi babe warm or bakhanyiseleke. so kubuhlungu angithi ngiyaphuma ngiyabheka 11 o'clock bamile lapha sometimes nini bamile akunakudla nini kunjani uyaphuma uyabona umzali ubheke uhlengezela inyembezi ubuyele endlini awuna help nothing ukuthi angithi asinako but uya understand ukuthi kubuhlungu akukhonakali akusinte emnandi so ngabona na kuthi happy that mina beyinje ukuthi indlu yokuqala eyapha so ngabona ukuthi ayikho ayifakwanga ngathi ngicela ukuthi bathathe yami bayipha abantwana mina bazongibona after bazogcina ngami ngoba mina ngingcono isimo sami singcono kunesabantwana.
Sandile tells us about the day their shack burned down.
Ngabo to 2 to 1 sekuzovala travel fika umngani kabhuti wami ngiyamtshela ukuthi kuyasha endlini athi kuyasha athi
With no source of income, he tries to work to make ends meet with the little that he gets.
Mina sometimes ngama Fridays, Saturdays ngokuya tavern kufika tavern ngokuba security vele lase tavern banokungizama nje 50 rand every day, every Friday, Saturday 40 rand. Fika ke ngithenge leyo nto ngishotha ngayo endlini. Sometimes ngithenga into zokugeza, sometimes ngicholisa ukudla.
Unocabanga sometimes akho ukuthi ungakhona ukupheka bapheke uyabo bayazibonela shema angifuni baqambela manga bayazenzela ukudla bayazama ngendlela la bazama ngayo ukuthi balale badlile.
Since their names were not part of the 67 beneficiaries, their house will take a little longer to build, though it's still a priority. However, the SABC Foundation delivered some food and clothes to them during the build week.
Manje sekuzoba ngcono nyana ehlezi indlu sayizongena sekuzoba ngcono nyana.
Ufila kanjani ngalokho? Ngiyajabulisa.
Ngiyangijabulisa kona.
Firstly, Habitat will help them to build the house. Once the house is complete, SABC Foundation will come in, will speak to the boys and look at what they need, more especially in terms of furniture. But we want to do beyond that. I asked if they're still going to school. I encourage them to go back to school so that once they finish matric, we can then take them to university. That is what we want to do. We really want to change their lives. We want them to be part of the community. We want them to feel safe and make sure that they live a better life.
If you ask this Irish master whiskey distiller why sometimes whiskey is spelled with an E and sometimes without, he'd say,
"Oh, to be sure. You feel so good, look. It's the whole thing. They're back and get off in the whiskey without the E."
Yeah, didn't catch that. But if you asked us the difference, we'd tell you that every whiskey from around the world is spelled without the E, except for Irish and American whiskies. Cheers. Tops at Spa. Good whiskey, good advice, no Irish accents.
Take your evening well informed with Primetime News.
Thanks for tuning in. You're watching SABC News Prime. The burning land reform issue was also a point of discussion on the first day.
If you do not have a skills revolution, you will run into the kind of problems that we're having at the moment.
We have funded about 466,000 students, out of about 800,000 students that are in the university system.
South Africa says insufficient electricity and water remains one of the biggest barriers to development and prosperity on the continent.
The top four batsmen in the squad, Hashim Amla, Quinton de Kock, Faf du Plessis and AB de Villiers, are certainties in the starting lineup.
I really believe we cover all bases when it comes to spin bowling, seam bowling, proper pace bowling and an amazing batting lineup.
Stay tuned every Monday to Sunday from 6 p.m.
The Law Society has slammed notices sent to 4 universities to jack up standards or risk losing their LLB courses. The Council on Higher Education issued a stern warning to the universities to conform within 6 months.
I think it will affect the university. I think outside the law faculty, there's a funding issue.
It's been 112 years since Enoch Sontonga died as a relatively unknown composer, choir master and teacher. But today his legacy lives on through his greatest composition, Nkosi Sikeleli Afrika.
For all your news updates, stay tuned to Your World from Monday to Sunday.
As the week drew to an end and houses coming to a finish, we spoke to the National Director of Habitat for Humanity South Africa.
Habitat for Humanity is a NGO that is a worldwide organization, and its mission is to build homes, communities and hope. Basically, we're addressing the big problem worldwide, which is housing or human settlements. We're trying to do our level best to invite and involve other players who may not necessarily ordinarily do that, like the corporates, like other organizations in society, to focus on this issue of housing and to do something practical about it. We're doing this in partnership with the Nelson Mandela Foundation. As you know, Nelson Mandela was an icon, and so they decided to come up with this day where everybody will spend 67 minutes. And so in our partnership with the Nelson Mandela Foundation, we've extrapolated that concept and said, why don't we build 67 houses as a symbolic gesture and to ensure that people participate within this whole week, within this whole movement of the Nelson Mandela Legacy. We're wanting to basically realize the dream that Nelson Mandela had, where people who are poor can see that development in practice, and they can have other people participating in that. And so our partnership with Nelson Mandela and the SABC Foundation has been phenomenal, together with the rest of the corporates in the community, together with the Department of Human Settlements in Gauteng.
He explained how beneficiaries qualify for houses.
The government has a list of beneficiaries where people apply for grants and subsidies. And so they get looked at in terms of their levels of income, and look at issues of disability. There are groups that are designated to actually receive houses. So what we do, we work with the Department of Human Settlement. They give us the list of the people that have qualified for subsidies, and then we work with them to actually build those houses. So it's a partnership arrangement between us and them.
At first, the concept of building 67 houses in 5 days seemed impossible, but by day 4, most houses were coming to a finish.
It's been phenomenal. We've had every single day here on site 670 volunteers coming from corporates from around the world, from around the country. And other people have just showed up. They've heard on the radio, they've heard on TV, they just showed up to lend their hand. It's been phenomenal. We've had people feeling, in other words, the volunteers, feeling that they're doing something, they're helping people. Some of them cry. Some of them, cannot say any word because they are so excited about this. This place provides them with a stability from which they can dream, from which their children can start to have a sense of dignity.
It's day 505 where Habitat for Humanity will be giving their dedication. In other words, they'll be handing over to the beneficiary of the house. She's standing right here with me, and I'm about to hear from her how she's feeling now that we are closer to finishing her house. There's still a bit of work to be done, but the bulk of the work has been done. Mama noma sister, unjani? I'm good, thank you. So Ma, look at us now. We are standing here. The process is almost over. How are you feeling?
Ifila kamnandi kakhulu, ngijabulile kakhulu.
Hayi mangathi awajabulanga nje, ngifuna ukubona ismile. Ngiyabona exactly, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, Mama. I mean, ubohlala emkhukhwini, in a very small house with your kids, and now you're about to move into a bigger house. What are you looking forward to in terms of moving into this house?
Man hamba lapha yabe ngihlala khona, ngimuvela ngapha. Ngiyajabula kakhulu ngoba vele bendihlala endaweni encinci engenakamure, bendihlambela khona, ndiphekela khona, senza everything. Ngiyacama ukuthi kuzoba nemehluko manje ngivela khona la.
The last day finally arrived, and it only meant one thing: handing over of keys. It was eventually time for Norma to walk into her house, which consists of 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a lounge, and a kitchen.
Into engingayikhuthaza ngayo omnye umuntu oluza ihope ndingathi nje yazi sisi bekezela emhlabeni kuyabekezelwa. Nami ndandingazi ukuthi koze kufike la nifike khona. uNkulunkulu akasibusisi ngesikhathi esisodwa sonke. Omunye nomunye ubusiswa ngelakhe ilanga, nomunye nomunye ubusiswa ngelakhe ilanga. Ndingamkhuthaza nje ukuthi ukubekezela kunomvuzo. Bekezela uNkulunkulu ngeke azakulahle.
NgeziBhayibheli ezi sithi uThixo anganisikelela. Amen. So that lo mthi xa ukhula nani nikhule ebuKristu. Hallelujah. Nazi ukuthi le ndlu yenu ningena kuyo today, you can build it on the foundation of the word of God. Ma.
Ngiyabonga. Nikhile kwindumiso. Nifunde indumiso ithi indawo yakhona uYehova ngumelusi wami. Ngoba ndihamba ethunzini lokufa andisayi kusaba lutho ngoba wena unami. Hallelujah.
Both the life and legacy of Tata Madiba has touched us all in one way or another. No matter how small or big the action, the aim is to change the world for the better, just as Mandela did, every day.
What guides us? Is it something you can touch, hear, feel, or see? What leads us onto greater experiences? Is it leaders on a soapbox, spouting rhetoric for the crowd? The advice of our elders? Or is it the actions of our people? The strength of our beliefs? Or the voices of our citizens? Your country is guided by the voices of its people, and your broadcaster is dependent on your voice to guide it. Get your copy of the SABC's editorial policy and have your say.
We live with this threat of violence. This is a strange and weird thing, if you come to think of it. So we don't live in a society, which is where the question leads me. We want to live in a society where we trust that we will not be violated.
A man abducted her from a taxi rank in Baragwanath.
He would have taken me and killed me. He would have shot me while I was running, you know. But none of those things happened. And, you know, even if I didn't believe in God, like, this is a real miracle.
How does the police unit of family violence follow new crime trends?
Station crime intelligence will from time to time present the crime pattern analysis and the crime threat analysis. We respond to those.
For all investigative insights, stay tuned to Special Assignment every Saturday at 17:30.
A teacher at the prestigious Johannesburg school St. John's has been found guilty of racism and fired. I must start by saying good evening and welcome to the program. Thanks very much for joining us. My name is Peter Ndoro and you're watching SABC News Prime. It is Friday, and this is what happens. We get so excited we forget to introduce the program properly. But thanks for tuning in wherever you may be watching across the continent. Here are now tonight's top stories. A teacher at the prestigious Johannesburg school St. John's has been found guilty of racism and summarily dismissed. A major drug bust at OR Tambo International Airport has led to the arrest of 15 drug mules.
Claude going for it again. 6 more. No one's worried about the 100 anymore. This is just fun.
And a mammoth task ahead of the Proteas as they chase 350 on a difficult wicket, whilst England makes the most of their bowling. In our top story tonight, the Gauteng Department of Education has welcomed the resignation of a St. John's College teacher. On Monday, the educator was found guilty of 3 charges of misconduct. The charges relate to making racist and derogatory statements and bringing the school into disrepute. The geography teacher received a final written warning but was allowed to continue teaching.
The Gauteng Department of Education demanded that the school fire the teacher and retract its earlier statements on the issue. The department also wanted the educator to be reported to the South African Council for Educators.
What we need to do is to deal with racist decisively. You must not give racist a room to breathe. We must really nip any form of racism mercilessly. We must not allow racism to raise its ugly heads.
The Independent Schools Association of South Africa also described the incident as unfortunate.